Montana! Montana! You did it again! Guys, this is 12,280 pounds, the Montana 3121 rear living here at Haylett RV. And I'm sorry if I'm shouting. I didn't expect this. Most of the 22 updates for most manufacturers have been pretty soft. A lot of them have done almost literally nothing. And I really hadn't had a lot of notes from Montana before this landed. This thing pulled in, we saw the new exterior, we cracked open the brochure trying to figure out which paint package it was, but it's not. That's just the standard exterior and a full facelifted interior that is looking better than ever. It's lighter and brighter without going full-on farmhouse, which I enjoy farmhouse, but it's starting to feel a little done. I'm getting a little farmhouse fatigue. I think the marketplace is. They do still offer that cottage white decor if that's what you're going for, and I think it would look really good here. I do. And they've even put little touches of that like in the bathroom just to help lighten and brighten things up. Very similar to kind of what Jayco's done with some of their decors. But it's not just the decor stuff. This signals the launch of what I think Keystone marking themselves as the leader in factory solar solutions. There are now multiple tiers, and it's not just a Montana solar package. Keystone basically adopted Montana's solar platform and has made it an entire company-wide thing. So the solar stuff you're looking at here, it could be the same as like on a Cougar or other Keystone products. What we're looking at today is the absolute standard base package in terms of their solar stuff, which is already 200 watts with a charge controller and it's inverter prepped, and you can go all the way up to the old like monster super solar package that they had previously. It's a little, and the air conditioning system has been completely redone to be quieter and push more air through. I gotta get you inside. I'm sorry, I'm talking way too much. So real quick, I just want to kind of give you a look around everything so you can just kind of get a little bit of a visual bead on some of the updates, like the updated flooring in that carpetless super slide over there. And then I think it's a minor thing, but it's going to really confuse a lot of people if I don't talk about it. We're in a 3121, which is a residential fridge model, but you're looking at a gas electric two-way fridge. Montana basically just got rid of the even numbered models. Everything is an odd number now, so instead of 3120 and 3121, which were the same RV with a different fridge, everything is a 3121, or whatever odd number, and then you can option the gas electric fridge. Now, in the past, I will tell you, I have been very vocal about the fact that I have not been a very big fan of residential refrigerators. I will also tell you, I'm really starting to come around on that, and I'll tell you why. Around the same time, both Montana and Jayco, with whom we also do a lot of fifth wheel business around here, they both changed their residential refrigerator supplier. And since then, we've noticed warranty rates have effectively plummeted. The bomb has not gone off. Our customers that have ordered residential refrigerators have been very happy with them. And as a result, we've been very happy with them because, frankly, I don't care what equipment is in an RV. I care what equipment takes care of my customers. And that has always really been our motivation regarding our preference for specific refrigerators. Power 110 with heat and massage theater seat, by the way. USB chargers in the armrest. Now, I want to address, people ask all the time, this is so stupid. This is the stupidest place they could put these. Why do they put the USB plugs on the inside? They should be on the outside. Okay. What do you do over here? That's why they're on the inside, because it's the only place where in every single floor plan they can guarantee it works, because it's an RV. It's not a house, you know? It's a little different there. Now, you saw how these are all dual section day and night shades. You saw that sofa down in sleeper mode, so that you do have some good guest capacity. It's definitely primarily a couple's rig, though, which is why, for the most part, you're just going to need these two chairs here. But you also have the option of pulling out a pair of fold-away guest chairs and extending the table if you do need to entertain 4 folks. And then a good case of just, the touches. I'm going to say this 100 times. The touches, the Montana touches. The chair, buddy. Now, if you want to, you can strap these chairs together for transit. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. And once again, I love all the coverage and visibility off the door side of this RV. It's exactly what I prefer. But You don't have to strap everything together for transit. You can just leave the 2 guest chairs stowed up in the front closet or under the bed, as you'll see later. By the way, over by that theater seat over there, there's a switch on the wall for the lights above. That's a dimmer switch. So at night, if you just want to be able to like read a little bit or see a little bit of what you're doing, eat a meal, but not have the full-on bright lights, this is an amazing what I call stealth mode camper. Because there's so much indirect lighting. Like you've got the accent lights above the ceiling fixture, all the way like running above the crown molding. You've got accent lighting in the island. In the mornings, in the evenings, you can navigate this RV very comfortably and easily without ever turning on a direct bright light, which I think is very cool. Now, there's a couple things up here. This has a 12-volt ceiling fan, and you've got a 16,500 BTU electric space heater built into that air conditioner. Plus, you have a 5,100 BTU electric space heat and fireplace that we're going to see in a second. Well, we already saw it. Plus the 12-volt tank heaters. This RV basically has 2 heating systems. But Montana's have been doing double whisper ducted air. And you notice how this is not using whisper ducted air? At a glance, you're going to look at this and go, what gives? Are you absolutely kidding me? Hang on, listen to this. At least that was my thought. When I saw that, I about had a heart attack. I'm like, I cannot believe they went to a louder air system. What a major fault, right? So I called my Keystone guy. He put his engineer on the phone. Keystone's engineering department, by the way, if you get a chance, like during a factory tour, ask him if you can meet the engineer guys. Brilliant. It made me feel so stupid so fast, and not even intentionally. Just the dude's brilliant, the whole team. Well, Keystone has been working with improving air conditioning systems for a while. They've never been happy with it. They've never really liked the racetrack ducted system. They were not unhappy with their dual whisper ducted system they had, but as they were playing with stuff, they accidentally created a better mousetrap. They were testing CFMs, cubic feet per minute, aka how much air actually gets out of the ducts and into the RV. And they accidentally routed something unintentionally, not the way they wanted, and it blew away every other system they'd ever seen. And what I've learned is that scientific discoveries are often not met with voila. They're met with, that's weird. And then you investigate. They accidentally created one of potentially the most effective air conditioning system that has ever existed in the RV industry. They found out even without the whisper ducted baffling, it was quieter. And I have been in this thing with the airs running. That is a legit claim. That is not, you're like, there's just no way. It is an absolutely legitimate claim. And they have done the testing and proven they are getting more cold air into the body of the RV out of the ducting than any other air system that I've ever seen on the marketplace anyway. So Montana, Cougar, like a lot of your Keystone stuff is doing that now. Again, you're finding that a lot of things that your premium Keystone stuff is doing, you're finding it trickle down through a lot of the other brands. I love that. It's awesome to see Keystone really getting on that consistency bandwagon. Like, that's one of the things I think makes Rockwood great. Keep doing it, Keystone. You're doing it right. And I mean, look at how many ducts are pushing that air down in. And notice how they're kind of like tornado looking. That's called the blade ducting system. And basically it creates a little air vortex that effectively funnels and sucks the air out of the ducting down here. Because that's one of the things I've never liked about racetrack ducting. Racetrack ducting sounds cool. Oh, the air whips around up there. It does. It whips around up there. It doesn't get down here as easily. It's not that it can't be as effective. It's just that it isn't always. What I am glad that hasn't changed a lot is the kitchen in this, but they still did a couple little things here. Check this out. So before I pass over it and miss it, right over here by the stairs, you have a couple things. You have your central vacuum system as well as what I like to call the electric dustpan. That little toe kick at the bottom, you can flip that up, and everything down here in this carpetless main deck, it'll just suck that all right up, so you don't even got to bend over, because manual dustpans, have you noticed? They only work so much. They're like, okay, I've done 99% of the job. You're gonna have to figure the rest out on your own. That coffee bar over there, by the way, is perfectly sized for a Keurig machine. Up top, you see a rain sensor max air vent fan. Obviously, has a wall control, so you don't have to poke up there with a a broom or anything like that. But all Montanas, all full Monty Montanas, maybe I should specify, similar to North Points and Pinnacles. They are triple air prepped and ready. So if you're looking for just incredible maximum air capacity, you can option a third air onto one of these right here. Now, convection microwave standard on a full Monty, and I will tell you, Montana, you are just dialed in this year. I was never happy with that little flip-up pocket above the microwave in the previous seasons. It didn't have a strut. It didn't hold itself open. It was a weird space, and they made it do something this year with that little pull-out spice rack. Sometimes it doesn't have to be much. Sometimes it doesn't have to be fancy. Sometimes it just has to work, and that's what's happening. Montana makes it work. And as we go through here, you're going to see plenty of drawers in the kitchen. So we got, start counting them up, 5 primary drawers. You've got the baking sheet drawer below the extra large oven right there. But we're not done with the drawers. We'll come back to some of those in just a minute here. Over here, the entertainment center gets in on the action. Giant storage pocket above that. And they changed things a little bit. When they added the JBL sound system over here, they kind of made it a little bit more... I think that this would be more entertainment focused, but my grandfather would have called that his Baptist medicine cabinet right there. He and my grandmother had a system. He would go over to check his books and come back with a little bit of sip of something on his breath, and she knew it, but that was just their cute little way of doing things. Their island, for the most part, remains unchanged. Just maybe the colors of a couple things might have been touched up and updated like the rest of the interior. I like this. I think this is the best looking Montana I've ever seen. But you've got the big farm sink so you can actually clean big pots and pans. But you also got the handy little veggie prep sink, little rinse sink over there. And again, we're still counting them up. Now we're up to 6, and we're about to see 7 drawers. Down below here, there's a little slot for your sink covers on the right-hand side, but plenty of space down below for things like dish soaps and whatnot. And to make it easier to get to and just cool looking, you got those residential soft close drawers down there. That is just, they're just nailing it this year. I love that spice rack. It's the littlest things, but I am all for it. Just a little look with the lights off. I don't know why. Just felt like it. All the giant windows letting all the light in. If you're boondocking, you ain't got to really crank the lights up too much. But if you do, obviously they work very nicely. The bathroom layout hasn't changed a great deal. You still have that sliding pocket door. You've got the large linen kind of cabinet over here. And I mentioned soft close drawers, but you also have soft close cabinetry through this. And did you see how that light kicks off? If you've ever wondered if your refrigerator's light turns itself off, well, I can't help you with that. But if you wondered if your Montana's cabinet light turns itself off, yes, it does. Porcelain foot flush stool with plenty of room. If you are a bigger person, if you're tall, if you're wide, whatever the case may be, if you're both, you're going to be comfortable here. Got the corner seat there, and kind of, I think, took a little page out of Cougar's book with that absolutely clear shower door, which makes the room look and feel a bit bigger. Rain-X makes shower door treatments to keep the spots off that, by the way. Now, you've got a 6.5 foot clearance up here, which is absolutely fantastic. And that is height adjustable shower hardware. And then over here, this is a little bit different from what they have done in the past. So they still have just a mirror on the wall with a big, I call it the Lipitor cabinet behind it. But I haven't seen one of these for about 10 years. Everything that's old is new again. Little trend here. They went with the elevated bowl style sink. One of the cool things about that, it does set a little bit higher as a result. But it also means there is more countertop space here. And it also means a larger cabinet below because you're not fighting quite so much space with the plumbing. Now, giving you a look inside there real quick, you can see, drawers to the floor, all kinds of space, all kinds of things. Ending all the way up to, we have another one of those rain censoring max air vent fans up there. And again, at a glance, you don't really notice a whole lot of difference going on here. Once again, it comes down to the little touches. So let's start here by, let's crack open that dresser space and look around. You can see how this is a stackable washer dryer capable thing. I think that's one of those things that Montana really catering to full-time RVers, and wouldn't you know it, they have a warranty for full-time RVing, coincidentally enough, that goes right along hand in hand with that. I think they've done what Pinnacle has done now, where they've gone with a standard king bed and then an optional queen instead of queen standard optional king. Now you're looking over here and you're saying, okay, well, all right, there's power outlets next to the bed, not with a king bed, not real CPAP friendly or anything like that. Now, I don't know that this is going to work for everybody, but I love that once again they're doing something. They used to have Montana has had household and USB plugs in the slide itself, but they were down here and they were always kind of in the way. So they looked and said, "Wait a minute. We have all that room above those crossbreeze windows. And no one's going to really like clock their head on that shelf up there. Why don't we put a shelf up there?" And then notice the reading lights above the bed. They're directional, and they're actually two-stage. There's the LED white backlight, and those are also USB chargers. There's 6 USB plugs in the slide box itself. That's borderline, I almost said excessive, but I suppose Montana obsesses about being excessive. Now, remember, once again, this does have that new air ducting system. So you're looking at this going, oh my gosh, no whisper ducted air. It's not the same system that you've always seen. And in case you're curious about headroom in here, this is a very comfortable bedroom to be walking around in. Just like, so the headroom in the shower and the upper deck is all the same. I'm 6'2", 6'3". You can see what it's at least 6.5 foot tall. I haven't hard measured it. One other nice little detail. That little light switch right when you walk in the door. You don't have to go slapping around in the dark. Like, you don't have to walk into the RV and doing this in the bedroom in the dark trying to find the switch. Or sometimes they'll put the switch over here on that wall where you have to climb into the RV to get to it. And if the slide's closed, good luck reaching back there. You're doing the pickle claw trying to reach back inside this thing. That looks like an ostrich. I need to just put some googly eyes on my hand. that could be my next little guess. Hi everybody. But you know what? No. And with these slides closed, this is another thing Montana's done really well here. Like bedroom and bathroom access, that's a given since the door goes straight to the hallway. But the question begs, what about the refrigerator? And that is really where they've done well here, because when you start getting opposing super slides, when you start getting an island kitchen, it's very possible you lose access to the refrigerator. And a lot of times you say, well, maybe you can still get to the freezer, but this allows for 100% access to the entire refrigerator because they were smart enough to make sure the island stays out of the way. And it doesn't matter if you're looking at the two-way fridge like this, the 4-door fridge, or if you're looking at the residential fridge, either way, you can still access everything. And getting you that information, taking the extra time to close stuff up, that's what we do for you at Haylett RV, baby. I'm no Steve Miller, I'm no joker, I'm no toker. I don't make up stories for just the sake of making up stories. Unless I say something about my Uncle Gary, that's how you know I'm just making up nonsense. Kind of like when Paul Harvey would say page 2. That's how you knew Paul Harvey was doing an ad. Maybe you didn't know that, now you do. But when this rolled in, we looked at it, and it didn't match the Montana look that we knew. We assumed it had to be a nice, beautiful paint package. We're cracking open brochures. I'm looking up their website. I'm trying to figure out which paint package it is. It looked kind of like Shadow, but it didn't match. The lines didn't match. And it occurred to me, that's just the new look. That is just a dynamite new look. And one of the things that is really an unsung quality of this floor plan, it's like pretty much 35 feet tip to tail. There's something magical about that. The tire wipes on the fifth wheel, the tracks of the tires, will almost exactly line up with the tire lines on your vehicle. And it's just you don't have to worry so much about really a big exaggerated swing or anything like that. You might see how those Dometic power channels have remained on those dual power awnings, giving us maximum patio space. And that is a 6.5 foot entry door, which is nice. It's residential height. It's obviously nice and wide as well. Anti-slam with that big door. And look at those zero gravity steps, the way the sun is shining through that perforation where it says Keystone Company. That is an amazing shot. They ought to pay me for that. The drop frame mega storage persists through. And look at that front awning. You see how it goes all the way up into the gooseneck area right there. The fact that they did that means they had to use a little bit shorter awning arms, which means it won't be a head knocker, which is really, really nice. Now, Montana is and has been 0 to 100 degree rated since 2005 and counting. Frankly, I think they're capable of more than that. They just don't really test beyond that too much in the RV industry. The roof has attic vents, plus you've got the 30,000 BTU air system standard with the option of a third air. The underbelly, of course, enclosed, heated, insulated, 12-volt tank heaters, forced air heating, like terminating onto each of the holding tanks even. Everything that I don't like the phrase 4 seasons RVing. I think it gives a false impression, but that's by the definition of what people expect, that phrase, Montanas have been. And again, it's a bunch of little things that really got me jazzed up about these, because I didn't expect them to really do much. They didn't need to. Montana's been on fire. So our auto leveling system's here for the 6-point hydraulic leveling, great. But down here, there used to be a set of flow controls so that if you wanted to activate only the kitchen slide or only the bedroom slide on the shared hydraulic slide system, you could. Well, now you don't have to. Now they're all on their own individual switch. And it's those over-the-top quality of life touches that just have really separated Montana from virtually everybody else through the years. And again, where they're taking it another step beyond is their entire company-wide Keystone Solar platform. This is the most basic thing you're going to find on a Montana. Every single Keystone is going to have a 200-watt roof solar panel, 15-amp controller that can accept an additional 200-watt panel to go up to 400 watts. And every single Montana is inverter prepped right there. They've done a lot of things. And the most basic solar package we're looking at, if you throw an inverter in, there is actually an available line there that you could run up to the air conditioner. So if you want to install like a soft start air or something like that, you could do that here too. The most basic solar package they have is extremely expandable all the way up through that 1200 watt double Dragonfly battery, 300 watt inverter mega super solar flex system they have. They're way ahead of everybody in that regard now. Now I look at the reflection of that J-Flight in the skin of this Montana and I say, wow, beautiful high gloss skin. When Keystone looks at the reflection of that Jayco J-Flight over there in the skin, they say, hey, there's a stain on the side of the Montana. All in good fun. Actually, though, it is interesting. A lot of people think, oh, all the Thor brands are buddies, all the Forest River brands are buddies. That is not true. Maybe you don't realize that. They are competition. They do not like one another. They don't want to be friends with one another. They are competition. And again, like we talked about on the inside, all of the windows over here on the door side, that to me has always been one of this floor plan's best qualities. I think that Montana was ahead of the curve on that before the market even really shifted toward it. Now back here, this does have a factory standard towing hitch, not just accessory hitch. So 300-pound vertical limit, 3,000-pound horizontal towing limit with safety chain hooks and a 4-way wiring harness. Now there's a little quality in Montana's roof construction that isn't really well documented. And it's something I learned about when I went on a factory tour myself, and it was really, I think, one of the most telling things about Montana. Where the sidewall meets the roof, they put an aluminum extrusion down along there just as another layer of lashing the roof to the wall. Okay, I don't know that you need to do that. Why'd you do that, Montana? They said, well, we were talking to our owners. And people who had 8-year-old and older Montanas, sometimes the roof decking was popping a little, and we didn't like that. They cared about what was happening on 8-year-old Montanas. So they updated their new ones. And that blew me away. Because a factory could have said, it's 8 years old. It's not our problem anymore, it's your problem. But they didn't. They made sure to fix it, to make sure it didn't happen. And again, this is the smallest solar they have. It's a 200-watt system, which is going to be a very respectable battery tender. That is not going to let you go off grid and camp indefinitely and do every single thing you want. But it's a really nice start. And for someone like me, who mostly park camps, just to keep the batteries topped off, because folks, we don't talk about it very much, but you want to know one of the problems with batteries in the RV industry? Well, whether you did or didn't want to know, I'm going to tell you. So you might want to fast forward if you don't want to hear it. Sometimes, oh man, when my daughter's attitude flares up, I wish you could fast forward through that. Wasn't that an Adam Sandler movie? Oh no. My life is becoming an Adam Sandler movie. All right, well, regardless, what I want to talk to you about regarding batteries is there's a thing called parasitic load in the RV industry, where there's all these electronics and cool things and whiz bangs and gizmos that they're constantly just sipping away at battery power. Well, very quickly, they can eat batteries alive, even when the RV's in storage. You know, the disconnect is nice, but it's nice to have that extra line of defense. Like, you talk to a lot of people say, well, my RV's batteries only last 2 or 3 years. They should last 8 to 10, because when you deplete them, a standard battery, a lead acid or an AGM battery, when you deplete them below 50%, you're damaging the battery's maximum reserve at that point. You're hurting its capacity. So every time you charge it back up, it doesn't fully come back. Well, if you can keep that charge at the 80% or above rate all the time and let the charge controller go, oop, nope, she's full, back off. Oop, you're getting drained, let me give you some juice. Those batteries are gonna last. And when the RV's in storage and you come back and you just hit the button to move the jacks or to open the slide, it's just gonna work. And that's what I love about it. It doesn't have to be a monster solar package. It just has to work. And Montana proved they pretty much had the best stuff out there, and they're doing the best stuff out there in terms of solar. So I know it took me a while to get started, but am I all juiced up for no reason? I've seen so many brands come in. The 21s, the 22s look just about the same. It's not an accident. Montana is and has been the single best-selling luxury fifth wheel for over 20 years straight. It's a race for second place, basically. It's the most successful fifth wheel in history. And I think this is a really awesome indicator as to why. Because they didn't take their foot off the pedal. And I tell you, there's been a lot of concerns about manufacturers building stuff too fast. This thing came in clean. It came in right. Even with the updates, which is sometimes a little funny time of year, they do it right. There's a reason Keystone adopted Montana's solar package to give to the rest of the Keystone family. They're just the best at what they do. That's a bold thing for me to say. It's subjective. Every brand's really good at different things. But there's a reason no one has even come close to scratching the record Montana has forged for decades, literally decades. I'm done gushing. When you're ready, we're ready. We'd love the chance to work with you. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.